Once again, welcome to Zak Team Podcast. The whole meaning of this podcast is to really educate and share the knowledge between all professionals that we can possibly invite into the studio and really share the expertise and knowledge of what's happening out there in the real estate industry. And today I'm very privileged to welcome our very special guest who flew all the way down here from Sunshine, Florida. And she will be sharing with all of us today how is the market performing in Florida, what's going on in Florida's market, why people should buy, and what's so exciting about living in Florida. So let's begin.
Hi, Olga. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
It's
you.
a real pleasure. What's happening in Florida? Well, we are shifting slowly from the seller's market to the buyer's market. The prices have stabilized. We see a lot more inventory, a lot more properties are coming back on the market. And we see price reductions on those properties which were listed too high from the beginning. The sellers are more flexible now. It's easier to negotiate with them. So the market is softening, and we are seeing a lot more interesting opportunities on the horizon for the buyers.
Beautiful. Olga, I know in fact that $1 million in New York, especially in Queens, cannot buy you much of a real estate. Like anything in New York right now that is listed around $1 million, it's very hard to find a house, let's say, with a pool, or it's very hard to find a house with a tennis court, or it's very hard to find a house that has a lot of kind of interesting amenities. I know that probably investing the same amount of money in Florida would buy you so much more fun stuff, right? So let's talk about that.
Sure. What can $1 million buy you in Florida?
Yes.
It can buy you a few different options. Option number one, you can buy a 2 or 3 bedroom condo right on the ocean in a beautiful community, which will have amenities, beach service, gym, valet service, assigned parking spot that comes with your unit, kids' room, a restaurant, a full service building. Or it can buy you a house. It's not going to be a luxurious house, but it's going to be in a gated community with amenities, with a pool. And it's going to be it could be in Hollywood, it could be in Hallandale, I wouldn't say Aventura. Aventura is a little more pricier than that. In Parkland, you can get something for $1 million. It's going to be a little small, perhaps, but you could definitely buy different options with $1 million in Florida.
Beautiful, beautiful. Olga, how well do you work with out-of-state buyers? And I noticed that a lot of times you're sharing some walkthrough videos where the buyer is not even with you present physically next to you in Florida. So it seems like you do a lot of virtual closings.
So my specialty is residential real estate, and my focus is out-of-state buyers. That's what I do very well. Most of my clients come from New York, Chicago, California, and other states in the country. Sometimes they choose to fly in. They only have a few days to look at the properties with me, and prior to their landing in one of our airports, obviously I do my research. I set up all the appointments ahead of time, and if my clients don't buy anything, at least they know the area, they know the buildings or the communities, and then when they go back to their respective states, then I can monitor the area or the particular building that they liked. And if something comes up, I let them know. I go there, I shoot a video, we do FaceTime, and then if they like it, we go into a contract, and then I handle everything from A to Z until the closing. I have clients who don't even fly in. They buy with me virtually. They don't see the property. They completely trust me. I work with a great team of top industry professionals. I have preferred lender. I work with an attorney, even though you don't need an attorney in Florida. You can just work with a title company, an inspector, and I provide all of those contacts and I support my clients from the beginning until the end. In most cases, my clients don't even fly in for the closing. We close remotely, and I just ship the keys to them to their house.
Wow, very interesting. Very interesting. Olga, how do you really work with buyers that is looking to, let's say, invest in Florida that are not full-time residents in Florida? What are the benefits of being the residents of Florida?
Well, if you're a resident of Florida, you need to spend a certain amount of months out of the year to be considered a Florida resident. Okay, then we are not talking about investors. It's a separate type of client. If you're a resident of Florida, of course, we don't have state taxes or city taxes. The lifestyle, the weather, these are all of the advantages of being in the Sunshine State. A lot of entrepreneurs are moving to Florida because of that, because they get to save on taxes and enjoy a great weather, especially those entrepreneurs from cold states like Illinois and New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, etc.
It sounds like during COVID, a lot of clients started migration from California.
Yes,
You want to
that's
touch
true.
on that?
Well, the deteriorating political condition in California also forced a lot of people out of the state, unfortunately. And I see a lot more people coming from California, and most of them are young entrepreneurs, but I see a lot of retirees as well. They're leaving California behind and coming to Florida to live full time.
Beautiful. What is the lifestyle that they are purchasing into? What would you say to our listeners that is the opportunities and what makes it so special to live in Florida? I know besides the Sunshine State and the ocean and the beautiful weather and so much to do after work, and I feel like people that love to swim in the ocean, it's probably a life-changing experience for them. They definitely completely transforming their lifestyle. Like I know one of my very good business partners that recently moved to Florida and she bought a condo there recently. I think she's somewhere in Fort Lauderdale, but she's posting pictures and they just so much excitement to look at. What would you say that lifestyle like in Florida?
Well, having moved to Florida from New York myself, I can tell you that it's a great lifestyle. Yes, the sunshine, it's the most important thing when you come out of your house and the weather is great, it's warm, you don't have to dress up, and you feel different.
You get
it's
vitamin D.
you get vitamin D and you get the happiness, this happiness feeling when, as opposed to being in the cold weather. I know not a lot of people, not everybody can afford to live in the Sunshine State or to move or to have a second home. But if they are thinking about it, I know that for sure that they will not regret it. If they decide to take a step in that direction, they should at least try. They can always sell their property if they don't like it. But I haven't met anybody out of my clientele who said, no, I hate it here, and who went back. It just didn't happen in my experience.
Beautiful. Well, Olga, thank you very much for joining me today. And we will
Thank you for
continue.
having me.
Absolutely. And we will continue our conversation hopefully very soon. And I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Same here. Thank you, Olga.